First of all, I just want to thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to be here.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. All right,
Sorry,
hold on. Let me do the introduction, and then we'll talk. We'll do all that. Start the show. So, all right. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself. And that person is not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserves your love and affection. That is a quote from Buddha, and this is the Inspired Poetry Corner. Welcome, 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 one and all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are on this beautiful big blue planet that we live on. We've all gathered today on a Sunday for the Inspired Poetry Corner Sunday Kind of Love, where we gathered to share our poetic geniuses, to share ourselves, to share our spirits with each other, to share our love. And we come together to support our feature. Every month we feature a different poet, a different artist, to let everyone know at some point in your life you are special, and to remember that, and you are worthy to be here. And today we get to spotlight, to feature Love Infinite. So I'm so much looking forward to the brilliance of this young human being. So anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're in good spirits, you're in good health. As I was saying earlier, I got up on the right side of the dirt. That's a good thing. So that's a good day right there, that I got up on the right side of the dirt. A great day is what I choose to do with it from here on in. And to quote our last month feature, Sunday begins after this poetry. So whatever you're doing, just understand it doesn't really start till after this show. But anyway, guys, excuse me. I hope you're really all doing well, and I really do hope you're in good spirits. You know, we're living in very interesting times, and you know, with all the news and everything, it's sometimes hard for people to remember that there's still a lot of good and beauty that goes on in this world. And I still believe in our humanity. With all the harshness that's going on, it's still wired in us to be good. So try not to get too bogged down by all the craziness that's going on. There's nothing new under the sun. We've gone through this before. We will go through it again. So having said that, I gave you guys all the ground rules, how we're going to play. We're flying at an altitude of 35,000 feet. So buckle up your seatbelt. We're getting ready to take off, and let's get the show on the road. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming Love Infinite. Also, Trajan Dewberry, also known for their poetry as Love Infinite, is a multidisciplinary creator, published poet, visual and applied artist, performer, director, filmmaker, video editor, writer, rapper, singer, dancer, musician. Always sending you love and the energy of evolution by releasing, excuse me, under the name, is it Trigger? Originally born and raised in Mobile, Alabama, they are proudly Black, boldly magical, insanely powerful, and loudly queer, with ancestry reigning from countless islands, all continents, and every intersection of the greater multiverse. Trajan recently self-published, an e-book titled The Fair Project, Volume 1, directly available via her personal shop. I'll make sure I put her information when I post this, so anyone that's interested in getting her book or anything that she's done available to you. I first saw this young poet, I believe, at New Rican Cafe, and I was just blown away by the talent, the passion for someone at such a young age, and the insight and wisdom. So I just and I've had the pleasure of having a number of conversations with her. So I'm really looking forward to this. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to unmute for a second, snap it up, clap it up, holler, whatever you choose to do. But the Inspired Poetry Corner is pleased to present Love Infinite.
That's right.
Yeah.
I am too excited. I can't stress that enough. I'm so grateful that I got to be here today, despite my computer having its malfunction. I'm very grateful. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Raw, again. Thank you to my mama. She got me out of jail. And thank you to God so that I could be here today with you all. I think I'm going to begin with a song that I love so much, and then I'm going to go into some more things. We're definitely going to take a little trip, so seatbelts, passengers, love you. Yes. And in my lap, in case anybody was wondering, this is my childhood best friend. And yes, I haven't had it, been in contact with my friend in so long. So when I got here after taking the bus from Georgia and getting out of jail, I found this in my sister's closet, and I'm so happy. I never gave my friend a name. It's just a lion, and it has given me all the powers that I have. So I'm gonna let it sit here, and because we're not ashamed of it. So here we are. The song is called Love by Nat King Cole rendition. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary, and E is even more than anyone can adore you. Love is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart, but please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. So this prayer that I wrote is, I made it up last year because I do have a lot of love for love. So here's this. Blessings, honor, and devotion to the reigning, all-knowing, infinite spirit, love. I intentionally dedicate my next, fullest, and deepest breath to you as an offering and observance, reflection and benediction, and extension of the most genuine gratitude and praise that my spirit most presently possesses. In this fated moment, I surrender to you wholly and fully and recommit my sovereignty and life the most precious and priceless of gifts, to you again. My dearest love, infinitely and immeasurably. To you, as well as to myself, most absolute and high supreme matter, I vow to stay faithful, brave, open, curious, and patient. I pledge to consider you in every thought and action. I intentionally offer you submission, knowing by doing so, I accept love, the absolute, as the dominant force, catalyst, and companion to my existence. I ground effortlessly and cosmically into peaceful realignment and here forward homeostasis. I relax, knowing that my heart and future are protected and secured by the most powerful essence to manifest. I love you, love, and open my current body, reality, form, light, shadow, and every dimension to your shared healing and joy. May my every experience be consciously pleasurable. May my every step embody your frequency. May any matter I hold within that is unaligned to your frequency now be released to the void for healing and transmutation. In your mighty name, I pray. Ashe. This first poem I'm going to read is called The Redeemer. Love is an infinite source of divine power. I am an energetic portal to this love. This next poem is called Deserving. I am happy. I am joy. I am excited. I feel at ease. I feel very supported, very rooted for once, very loved, very whole. And in this moment, I feel worthy. I've come this far, and I think I deserve to be here. I deserve to feel this way. Okay, so trying something different here where I recognize my genius by reading my journals to you all. My affirmations on November 23rd, 2022, 9:09 a.m. My chaos is beautiful. It is magical. My chaos is majestic. The next day, 11/24, 2022, 4:19 a.m. I wrote this poem. It's called Unapologetic. You don't want to be the problem. You don't want to be shunned. You don't want to be judged, but judgment has only begun when you looked in the mirror and passed by the window. You wondered what they'd think. Freedom surrendered. Who cares what they think? How on earth do you feel? Happiness in the world's hands when your choice is the real deal. Your voice is the real spill. Your style is the muse still. Stop considering what they'd want, and to your own heart, do kneel. We need you, Spirit. My Thanksgiving affirmations, God is telling me to share those with you, so I will read them. I am family to myself. I am never truly alone. I have a family in the sky. I appreciate my angels. I give thanks to my spirit team. I am so grateful to my guides. This earth is my family. Thank you, gravity, for holding me down. I support myself around the clock. I am full all by myself. I am whole even when alone. I am waiting patiently for my soul family that loves and honors me. Thank you, Spirit, for me. I'm in love with this body, this day, and every day. I don't need any validation. This was written November 26, 2022, Saturday, 7:29 a.m. EST in Evans, Georgia. They awoke from a restless, tossless slumber as agitated with thoughts of revolution as they were born into this world with. They knew they held the key to true, pure freedom and sovereignty. They knew they were not alone, but surrounded by hearts just as depleted as the one they carried. Despite the weariness of a queen, they centered once again in their purpose, to trust in the outcome. Ancestors floated around their head, casting spells of gratitude, truth, and love. They were love. No matter how tired over the years they had become, there was always enough energy for love, the pure kind, the love that did not falter or manipulate motivation, but the kind of love that sat in meditation until divine inspiration came naturally. Growing up, she was made to keep busy so her mind didn't wander to lifeless places. Now they crave them. The void where she, they, whoever they were, felt most alive. They awoke grateful for the presence and company of high spirits. Their activity worthy in Trajan's eyes of praise, maybe even worship. This was written Sunday, November 27th, 2022 at 12:07 p.m. EST, Evans, Georgia. They awoke feeling every bit of she today. Their dreams made them question what was going on inside of her mind, made them question what was going on inside of her mind. Multi-partnered sex with unsavory white penis, the threat of a lashing, a classroom or retreat with the brightest and best performers. A rapper named Lakia requests a battle of rhymes, wit, confidence. She, in the dream, replied, next time. They awoke and replied in you/her dreams. They knew there was no time for competition, and there never had been. Competition is merely a distraction or motivation. The goal was simply betterment of self, and they needed to focus on alchemy, sorcery, revolution, community, and other things. Things like discipline and decisiveness, things like release and forgiveness, things like meditation and benevolence. They had no time for battles, only time for victory. And there was no need to prepare for it. They understood their destiny is victory. They knew their success and independence to be imminent. They knew they ain't have to be no Eminem or Queen of the Ring. They knew they were gods, and that was undefeated. They turned over thanking God for life, another day, another channel. They realized today, under a waxing crescent, a new moon also shone in the sky as bright as the sun itself, and it was the she/her in question. They cherished her, they loved her, they believed in her, and she believed in them. I finished that one at 12:33. Wrote the time, so I'll share the time. This next journal was written at 10:51 a.m. Moon Day, Monday, November 28th, 2022, Evans, Georgia. They awoke, covered in the ripeness of their own menses, thighs, cheeks, and lips covered in a blanket of blood. Pain freshly sprouted from the roots of their neck, and they fell once again to bring peace, long-term relief to the cricks, long past temporary. Hunger gnaws at their stomach as they remember a dinner of handfuls of habanero barbecue almonds coated in too much seasoning, too much fake shit they later regret during the morning poop and flossing. They stare in the mirror after a hot, then cold shower of herbs and peppermint and try yet again to convince themselves of their mouth's effervescent beauty. It is not quite a failure, but more of a resignation as they move on to mouthwash, organic and homemade, once they've spit out this rising's apathy. Once they've spit out this rising's apathy, or at the very least, most of it, they smile at the reflection with Virgil Abloh's off-white teeth. At least we are talented. At least they dress. At least. They refill the water in the common areas, altar that would spoil gray if they didn't, and they prepare breakfast of Thanksgiving's leftovers without a burning candle, and despite knowing her efforts were still appreciated by spirits, her fire felt like at any moment the winter winds could blow it all away again. She didn't want to forgive, she realized. She was sick and tired of being taken for granted and dependent. She felt that all she had on earth were the spirits that flew around her. She knew she still had many tears to cry. She still had beloved skeletons in her own closet. She wanted so desperately for everything to be better, so she wrote it down. And in a matter of time, it really was. Back to poetry. This poem is called Hydrologic. I wrote it on December 2nd, 2022. On days like this, on days just like this, where I am slow to rise, I sit in a wakeful ache, sometimes lay, sometimes pray, tossing and turning round, letting clouds pass and shift until my sun should rise. But my sun never sets, it just takes its time. My soul holds no regrets or parasites. My spirit is nothing less than love's paradigm when the clouds and darkness dominate the sky. Solutions lie in perspective, time to reframe the mind, surrender and uplift. You can change your mind. When life gets too heavy, it's your raining time. Don't be discouraged by the bevy. You'll have your time to fly. Rest and be assured you'll get your time to shine. After interception, infiltration, right? Let it all seep through percolation, night. After it transpires, don't go running off. Let the motion take you higher. You are the sun, S-U-N, of God. Crucifixion is not your end. It is where resurrection begins. This is where faith makes amends. This is how nature becomes a friend, your friend. Evaporation. This next poem is called Nature Gratitude. I wrote it at 7:06 a.m. It is the beauty of the moon I dedicate and admire too. She holds the power to grant you peace or trigger the beast in you, uncovering what was buried, coax you to let it go, welcoming of your darkness, but what you reap, you will sow. What you plant is what grows. Not every bud will reach the light, but every soul accounted for. Intention weighed upon a scale where only truth can keep the score, and only you can open doors. Faith, your strongest power. When you decide you are worth it all, and only you can make that call. Have you howled at her in anger or pain when dreams ain't coming true? Has she protected you from nightmares you couldn't see? You called to you. Did you put all your faith in her before you do the same for you? Had you cursed the whole world for their lack of support of you when your self-commitment is flaky too? Shame on you. Shame on the moon. And shame on me too. But truth be told, we can't do nothing with it, so just give shame the boot. With compassion, we'll heal everything, right at the root. This next poem does not have a title. I am in love with a person who often forgets to love themselves, but my lover is not alone. I am myself and my lover, forgetful, bleeding. I want to be with my lover, help them to understand we're both human. We are all human, trying to make it to the ends of our own rainbows. But the rainbow is a group project made up of so many more than us alone, and we must all be ready to love, to forgive, to empathize. We must put ourselves in another's glass slippers and accept that what one has dealt with may have broken us completely. We are all valid and worthy and deserving of love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness. We have all chased our rainbows selfishly, forgetting that everyone is reflected in this prism of light that we sometimes pretend only surrounds us. The world does not revolve around me and my lover, but our love is why the earth revolves. So that we take the opportunity to love as deeply as the earth turns. I am in love with the revelation that God is the center of our universe. God is a reminder that we are new to this world in a new body with souls as old as time and purposes as soul, as the toll sinking into borrowed earth. Nothing belongs to us, not even the love we share. We must worship the creator of this most perfect love we share. We must worship ourselves and the light that leads us into new days and eras. Love was created, morphed, transformed, and ordained by the Most High God. That is how I found my true love. That is how I shall be able to honor and protect this cosmic happening. I must serve the God who created me and my love. My lover's relationship with the Creator is private and sacred. And I do not mind, but our relationship must glorify and elevate the sacred that we experience away from one another. I know I am in love because I wish to save the world with one of the greatest gifts I've ever received. Knowing nothing belongs to me is the freedom I never knew I needed. Knowing my lover belongs to God's timing is the greatest relief I've ever known. I am in a polyamorous relationship with God and my lover. These next two poems I wrote last night. for this event. They do not have titles, I think. But I think this one is actually, I might have wrote it on the last page, actually. This poem is called To Love's Infinite Reign. Love doesn't sleep, doesn't get any breaks, doesn't take time off. Love works overtime all the time, doesn't believe in time beyond divine. Love gets tired, wheels always turning, always giving, rarely receiving the external praise, thanks, or devotion deserved. Love is always energized, energizes self, runs on the steam, runs off the steam of being everything around us infinitely. Love is ripped off, has met countless actors and poets and artists who claim to sing songs, love songs. Love despises a liar, despises a lie, and still loves both anyways, for being a truth, a discovery, an art form, a realization, a special type of spirit, a catalyst of its own kind. Love is mental instability to many humans, robots too. Love cannot be fathomed, understood, accepted, received, or even loved unless it's true. Yes, love is honest, crass, brass. Love is an entire band, the audience members and every single fan, the band leader, everyone in the stands. Love is a trigger. Love is something bigger. Love is laughter. Love is happily ever afters. Love is surreal and pure innocence. Love is angelic, pure and heaven sent. Love is cliche, expressed in 100,000 million trillion ways. Love, the muse, is so truly sick, sick of being misused, abused, labeled the greatest fool. Love is God, and so many are atheists. Love is cod, hunted to extinction. Love is broad, personal, individual, and all too specific at the same time. Love can be anywhere, everywhere, all at once, and write an infinite amount of unforgettable rhymes. Love is all powerful. Love cannot be destroyed. You can hang love on a cross with thorny crown or any old ploy, but love will be born again. Love is born anew every day. Love can be sadness, but all rains go away. Love cannot die and love cannot be killed. So what if Jesus did? Maybe death was of his will. Love has a strategy that makes the most violent heart completely still. Love is a complete charmer of all snakes, reptilians, and gills. Love is like sunlight. Love does not go away. It may evade your sight, but hopefully return soon, some way, someday, next week, next breath, next month. Love is aware of being your elixir, quenching your thirst with gut punch. Do you feel it? No one lives without love, as twisted as their love can be. Love is the basis of all creation, connecting all of our family trees. Love is Adam and love is definitely Eve. Love is the dream, a midsummer night's breeze. Love is molasses, the sap falling from the trees. Love is a strange fruit, the blood covering the leaves. Love in hiding makes people do awful, terrible things. But love in the light is an ode to Martin's strength. Love will never die or be assassinated by your beings. Love will flow on forever when you are gone, like a river or a stream. I pray the whole world finds love and respects all it seems. Love is more than they and them pronouns, pesky human things, needed by pesky little humans who detest an it being. A God who is immortal, all knowing, all seeing. Love is the deepest grace. Love lacks no compassion. Love allows you to think you're piloting while love is always captain, captain of your heart, the sea, the ship, the boat, the oars, the life vest, the presidential vote. Love decides who sinks or floats. But now you have a choice to surrender to love. You can fight it for sure. The callings from up above. Love is so constant at peace. It's a dove. It's a fireplace. It's a mountain, a forest, a bear that you call a rug. Love does seek justice. It's not vengeance. It's not rage. It's not anger. It's not mean. It's not bitchy. It's just unpaid. It's accountability time. And so many have to pay up. Yet love accepts no bribes and values no physical touch. The reckoning is spiritual, mystical, beyond. The payment is celestial, eternal, loving bond. Love's a bit egotistical, and of this I'm very fond. I know they thought, wanted, wished to body bag, meat suit, love infinite, but forever has only just begun. To love's infinite reign. February 17th, 2024. I finished at 10:16 p.m. I did not write my start time that time. This was written in Eclectic, Alabama. All right, my last poem. It's called Can You Feel the Love? Can you feel the love? Feel the love in the room, occupying every space, breathing life into tombs, breathing life into people, breathing life into you. It is more than mere physics, cannot be reduced to O2. Can you feel the love, the toughest, tender hug, cheering you on like ancestors, warming you like gloves? Can you feel the tug, the pull of the force, the tide swiftly changing, the passing of a torch? Can you feel the love, a story you could never write, a movie still unseen, unmade, where climax is not a fight? But victory is passed down and all sacrifices worth it, all suffering soon healed and every being perfect. Maybe you don't deserve it, the kind of love I'm feeling. Maybe you have bananas for brains and I'm doing all the peeling. Maybe that's how I like it, constructing my own ceilings. Teaching children it's all imagination and adults all about healing. Maybe my kids deserve it. Utopia, perfect world. I'll tell them mommy believed since she was just a girl. I'll tell them I made it real while everybody doubted. I'll tell them I felt the spirit when the pastor shouted. They said I should dream big until I actually did. Then they tried to crush me, farm me down like a pig, but I wouldn't let them. So guess what I did? Mommy died many times, but also mommy lived. Mommy wanted to be president, so that's what mommy did. Mommy wanted to free the world so she could feel safe having some kids. Well, can you feel the loves now that God themselves placed inside me? Can you feel the strength of all the spirits behind and beside me? Can you feel the chill now that's been brewing deep inside me? I guess it's time to let it go and put it all outside me. Can you feel it, and do you hear the moan of ancient spirits? That's SPEA, warriors betrothed to keep me near it, the light of my own soul. Do you fear it? Because you can't kill it. It is here now, the champion, the empress, she appears now. Can you see it? If not, it wouldn't be the first time that you did it. So lost in all your hangups that, yeah, you fucking missed it. A queen, a crone is crowned. They call her Phoenix. She is shadow. She is sunlight. She is even cricket. Moving at the speed of light. No, you can't see. I would say that it's a shame, but at least you are free to see as much or not or not. I'll let you be and just be me. Hurricane, volcano, and the ring. I am nobody's precious little thing. I belong to the highest living being, and that is me. God pulled me by the ears to write this thing. I mean, my lazy human soul didn't do a fucking thing. It's God in me. I am God. That's what you're seeing and judging, and I love it. I've been anxious for so long. Today, I'm so fucking above it. All my poems turn to psalms or songs, begrudging. I can't help that I've been gifted sound of music. All my words are lyrical. Please get into it. Yes, I choose it and know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm headed. I've been God all my life, not just a present. I am a gift to this world and a lesson with ample message. Burning bush, arc, and sea, part the sky. I am simply much more devastating when I don't try. I am simply pure perfection, and I know you want to question why. Because I look in the mirror and I see the Most High. Yes, I see love, love in every direction, not just above, but something fell from the sky, gave me a nudge. You don't have to believe my cries, but I think you should. I think you should. Can you feel the love permeating through the air? I hear a buzz. The bee numbers are growing just because. Beware. If I said so, it just happened. Is to was. Everything that is today is yesterday. I am living in the future. I made a way. Grateful to my alma mater. I found a way and made a way. Do you feel it? Because I created it. I feel the love. I feel the love. Lastly, I'm going to be singing the Negro National Anthem, or part of it. It's by James Weldon Johnson, who is an alma mater from my school. I attended Clark Atlanta University and graduated in 2020. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the loud as the rolling sea. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I'm just kind of letting that just wash over us right now. Wow. I feel like we just went to church and participated in a yoga meditation while sitting in a mountain in the Himalayas somewhere. My gosh, that was brilliant. I was going to ask for an encore, but I think I just want to talk with you. I just want to talk because, first of all, you wrote 2 new pieces for today. I'm very touched and honored by that. I don't know how you top what you just did. There's no topping. It's just an acceptance of what we just witnessed and experienced with you. I think I said this to you when we first spoke. You know, for such a young soul, you have such a depth of wisdom, of universal understanding that goes beyond your earthly years. So we keep thanking you for this opportunity. I will thank you profusely for bringing understanding, love to the Inspired Poetry Corner and to share it with us. When I say, you know, come and experience some of our Sunday kind of love, you know, to kind of steal the title from Eartha Kitt, we just experienced a Sunday kind of love that was completely different, maybe unexpected, I'm not sure. I try not to walk around with expectations, but that was just brilliant. How are you feeling right now?
I feel like I could go run a marathon. Like I need to go. I still have too much energy. That was fun. I had fun. I felt, you know, extremely present, but not in a bad way, not in an anxious way. So I feel very grateful and self-enlightened and transcendent and ascendant. Yeah.
It was funny when you started, I don't know, it's about 5 minutes into it, and I wrote down, wow, this is just so mindful, because I felt that you were fully present where you are in that moment. Purposeful.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like you sat down last night, okay, this is how I'm going to do this. But I think you trusted the moment, and it felt purposeful, very divine. When people use the word spiritual, I don't know. For me, everything we do is spiritual because we're spirits, right?
Exactly.
And then there was a rawness to it, right? So, you know, that's what, as you really got into it, 5 minutes into it, those are the things that came to me. And then we are all human trying to make it to the end of our rainbow. That is a fucking brilliant line. Brilliant.
Yeah, I do want to say that that's partly inspired by Ntozake Shange, who wrote for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow isn't enough. And I was deeply inspired by that play, that poem. It's a choreo poem, but it's been adapted to be a play several times. It's very famous, and I think, you know, as a Black girl, Black woman, Black being that has considered suicide, but truly felt my rainbow worth seeing to the end, that it was very important to put that in there.
It was well done, and the singing. I knew you sing, but I had no idea you had such a powerful voice, and I love the fact that you chose Nat King Cole love song to kind of kick it off, but to kind of, I love when people could sing someone else's song but then make it their own, right?
Yeah.
So it was brilliant. You just talk about inspiration. You know, I know you've had a tumultuous childhood like I have,
Mhm.
but even throughout the storms of your early years, what inspired you? What kept you inspired?
Definitely nature and being able to create because I've always been an artist. So I feel like school inspired me because, that was like one of the one places that you're leaving your um, childhood to go. So I, all the time, it's like your job. So I feel like, also my mom did also say like school is my job a lot. So I kind of like went to school and really, I think, transformed. If I was sad, then I would go to school and I would be like a completely different person, basically, in the sense of just being like kind of falling into that clown category, always trying to make people laugh, always trying to enjoy myself. So I got labeled, to be disruptive or very talkative a lot. But that was my fun. That was what was inspiring me. I was always going outside, making like a mud pies. I like activity. I'm an Aries, so I love being outside, and I love community. I feel like community inspires me. Like even if I maybe didn't feel like people understood me or what I was going through or weren't helping me in the way that I wanted to, I was still very much always thrilled to be around people to just, experience them. And also reading that saved me because books. I think I was just time traveling so much through everybody's stories. I read a lot of series when I was younger. Like in elementary school, I read like so many different series. So I think I had a lot of uh like dystopian, but also this specific book. It was called The Giver. When I read The Giver, I was like, yes, I believe in a utopia. I really do. And I think um, that is what inspires me, the idea that the world is one day going to be all feeling love infinite towards themselves and to other people.
Hmm. Okay. What inspires you now?
The same thing.
Okay.
um, but I mean, now I think I've added, well, and it was also music when I was growing up, but I think music again with just creation. I think, yeah, God is inspiring me. Like I won't say I couldn't necessarily say God when I was younger, even though I loved church. Um, but I would say like until college, I kind of had like a blame God type of mindset. And then I think when I started writing my plays, that I was able to hear and understand God's voice more through my own voice, through my own writing. And so I think that's when we became lovers, besties. And so that's what's been keeping me inspired since college. Because I would say, to speak to that, that I was suicidal in college. I had planned um, a suicide after my college graduation because I wanted to do that one thing for my family. It seemed like that was like all they cared about was me graduating college, not like how I was feeling going through that or what happened to me. But um, yeah, the pandemic happened, so that whole plan didn't work out. But that's also when I kind of really relied on God because I was like, you ruined even that. So now it's like nothing else to do but to listen to God.
I guess it was God just saying it wasn't your time. I mean, my daughter decided to take her own life, so I get it. I get it. And it's not an easy thing. Everyone knows, a lot of people like to think it's a coward's way out. I don't see it that way at all. I think it's actually an act of love to some degree to take one's life. It is your life. But the fact that you
Yeah.
here means to me it wasn't your time. And I'm so grateful for that. Um,
Me too.
I always tell people, to me, there's God and there's religion. the two of them don't know each other. Let go of religion and keep God. Then it sounds like you have found a good place with God within you. Besides your,
Yeah, I think
go ahead. No, go
well,
ahead.
there's this Frank Ocean song. It's called "Bad Religion," but you know, religion can be very off-putting to people. But that's because you're usually following the standards, you know, the regulations and the order. You're being disciplined by a church. So I think that if people do at least seek to discipline themselves spiritually, form their own religion with God, then they might be able to find an organized religion that they actually fit into, much like how anybody else looks for groups. They join there's all types of groups that people join, but you have to first know yourself, what you're seeking, what you're looking for, and then find, like I was saying in my poem, those souls that are like-minded. I think people go into church just thinking like people aren't human in there, and they are. So you have to find the place that really reflects who you are inside. And that's why I also think you have to not give up on that process. So I think that's why suicide really didn't become an option for me, just because I didn't and I don't want to give up on the process of finding true love on earth amongst a community.
Yeah. This is why I think it's so important that, you know, not just tell people that you love them, demonstrate it, to ask them, do you feel my love for you? And see what they say. I think, you know, it's not enough to just tell someone you love them, because love is an action, verb as well. And I think we need to become more active with the word love and not just speak it and even write about it. So you were born in Mobile. What was it like? Did you grow up in Mobile, or how much time did you actually spend in Mobile?
I was born in Mobile. I grew up in Mobile. I graduated high school in Mobile, and then I left Mobile to go to Atlanta. So I used to have a very deep accent, but I guess college ruined it. And I did post a video on my page because I found, well, my old teacher from high school sent me a bunch of videos of myself, and like everything's the same except my voice has definitely changed. I don't sound anything like what I used to sound like. And that really makes me sad because I feel like I was distorted in a sense. Not that they were trying to, but I do remember like hearing a lot about country accents when I first went to college. And I think I felt maybe disvalued as an actor because I did study theater, that they were going to typecast me unless I learned how to change my voice. And so I did learn how to change my voice. I just lost my true voice in a sense.
It's funny you say that because I was born in Trinidad, and when I first moved to the States, obviously, I had a Trinidadian accent, and I remember thinking, when did I lose my accent? I can't remember ever.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you say that. What was it like though, growing up in Mobile?
I think growing up in Mobile is like wanting to go other places, but still finding, you know, light in what is Mobile. So, because I mean, people definitely go other places if they have the money to, but if you don't have the money to leave, then you're kind of just stuck in Mobile. So that's kind of like, it's funny. If you don't have the money, you're not really mobile like you want to be. So you just have to be Mobile. And so Mobile is Mardi Gras and witnessing a lot of violence. You know, like when I was in high school, I went to a preparatory school. So like there was not really that many fights there. And if it was kind of just like, I don't know, like people losing their temper. So when I got to high school, there was just so many fights every day, like to the point where people would run to go see fights, and I joined this like I would. It was like it was just a comedy type of place. It's very comedic. It was very hilarious. So I think it was very easy for me to fall into that like I said, that jester or that class clown role. But also it's a lot of support. Like I felt like it was a lot of genuine love from my teachers, and supporting me as far as writing. I wrote my first play when I was like in first grade, and my teacher, I shared it with her, and like these puppets I made, and she let me like start performing for the class like whenever I wanted to. It was kind of like every week I would write a new play for the class. So I feel like it was supportive artistically. And as far as like they want to see you leave in a sense, because they know if you don't leave, then you'll be staying. And I think everybody is kind of like, it's a retirement city. So it's like if you were born there, to some degree, people are expecting you to leave and maybe come back. So that's what growing up in Mobile is like.
Right. What's the dream?
The Mobile dream is to share the power of confidence, love, and sovereignty. My dream is the Mobile dream, because I was born in a Jim Crow state, a Jim Crow city. It's a city that is very deep and rich in segregation and racism. My high school was like not even segregated after my grandmother was born. So the spirits are very strong there. You can hear like we had ghosts on camp, like people knew about our ghosts. Like it was just kind of like so the dream is to awaken people to, because I am a Creole descent, to the fact that Black people are more than that. We have a lot of cultural richness, a lot of ethnicities compounded, and you can't see it because of slavery. And so the goal and the dream is reparations and accountability and visibility, because that's a real reality that I had to live, and that children from my city are going to continue to have to live. And so many people in American cities, especially in the Bible Belt, especially in the South, you don't see, like, it's just a lot of closeted racists, and you don't really get to see it unless you interact with them, which again, the city's pretty segregated. You don't really notice until you try to interact with white people, and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot they don't like me because I'm Black. I forgot about that. It's like you're living in your own world, and then you remember like somebody hates you because you're Black. So I think I want to spread that message to the rest of the places, because I don't live in California. I don't live in New York. I didn't have the privilege of pretending like my classmates or their parents didn't hate me. I remember one of my first crushes was white, and we were talking about it at school, and he was like, he was always joking. He's like, my mom's half Black. And then one time I really asked about it. He was like, well, yeah, my dad's pretty racist. And then that was kind of like the end of us talking about me liking him or us liking each other. After he told me that, I was just kind of like, great. And went about my Black life. But it was funny because, like I said, I went to a preparatory school, so it was kind of like the Black kids didn't much like each other unless they were popular. And so it was a very interesting environment to go to school and to grow up in, because it was like, even if you liked yourself, like I said in my poems, even if you love yourself so much, even if you think you are what you are, then somebody's trying to convince you that you're not, and that you're beneath them in some way because of some type of stereotype. I really felt honored to go to college, because I did feel like I was being kind of held back by our public school system, like a little bit. And so college like awakened me to so many things. So it's very like interesting to see like the climate of the world of like, again, with banned books and stuff, because like I learned about certain things only until I got to college, and there was no reveal of that when I was in school studying civics or history to the profundity or the specificity that I learned it in going to a historically Black college and university. And I feel like that was very gross and distasteful. And so I would like Black people in my city and in the Bible Belt, because we do have that stereotype of being so ignorant. Well, it's on purpose. We were not allowed to go to school. And so if you don't tell the kids that like your grandparents didn't not go to school because they were lazy and they didn't want to, but because they weren't allowed to until like some couple years ago. And a lot of people in the South were still sharecroppers and did not go to school because they did have to provide. My mom never went to school on a campus. She only did online colleges. I was just talking to her about that, the other day about first generation college students and that not being really a flex. But at my HBCU, they were giving out scholarships for first generation college students. And I just feel like there's not enough importance being shown on the fact that, again, people weren't not going to school because they did not want to go to school. I love school. We can't go to school because we can't afford to go to school. And then by the time it was able for us to go to school, now it's like thousands of dollars in debt when it was very cheap at the time when our families could have created a generational wealth. So I feel like that was robbed from me. I feel like that's robbed from many Black children in Mobile. A lot of people from my city have made it out and are, performers or artists, and they're making their waves. But I feel like there hasn't been a person who's been coming back to educate our people. And I think that's my dream, to go back.
I hope you do that, because it's funny, when I was putting together the list of features for the year, I didn't stop to think, Love Infinite in February at Valentine's Day or Black History Month. So I trust how spirit works in my life. But
Yes.
there is I don't necessarily participate in Black history because I'm Black 365. But there's also a lot of Black history we do not want to talk about and celebrate. And there's so much Black people have achieved from the history that people don't know about, that we don't know about. A lot of it was suppressed, and not necessarily suppressed by the so-called white man. So I invite people to really go beyond. One of the things I love to do, like you, when I was a kid, as much as I loved playing sports, I loved having my head in an encyclopedia. And then whatever kind of stoked my interest, and I'd go to the library and try and do research on it. Maybe I'm fortunate where I grew up, because I went to school in Brooklyn. I remember the schools I went to, they taught a lot of history, particularly Black history. So I don't know what happened. And maybe it depends on where in the country you live and where you and so forth. But that seems to be.
It definitely is. Again, I mean, there's a reason that we have terms like inner city schools and so on and so forth. It's just different depending on where you are in America. That's why the Black experience is not monolithic, because we're not living the same experience. Depending on where wherever your ancestors got to move you to, wherever your family got to move you to, it absolutely shapes your entire experience, perspective, and changes you into a completely different human being, like all human beings.
And this is why I try to listen to everyone, because not all our experiences are the same, and it's important to listen and not try to ridicule and go, well, that's not true, and so forth. But anyway, I mean, I think you and I are overdue for another video chat, because I could talk to you for forever, but I really need to wrap this up, because you're so intriguing to talk with.
Thank you.
Two more questions, because you're definitely a person of words, and you have a great ability of being a wordsmith. The way you craft everything, it almost feels like, as I see, is intentional in how you craft it. Do you have a favorite word? Besides love?
Listen, if I do have it, all my favorite words are very silly words. It's like, that's just like, who made that in English? And like, all like, Um, okay. In high school, my favorite word was moist because I was like, why are moist? It was just a funny word. But I think the first word that came to my head when you said that was haberdashery because I just like English is so funny to me. Like I love Shakespeare for the fact that like he just got away with creating so many words and now they're just all part of our thing. That's another reason why I feel like it's so funny, you know, when people are like, you don't talk, you're not talking proper, I can't understand you. I'm like, they didn't understand Shakespeare either. Maybe it's gonna take y'all 100 years, I don't know, but either way, when some new language is introduced, it wasn't for you to get immediately. Clearly, I'm in and you're out, and now you have to get in. And that's kind of like a Shakespeare thing. It's like I'm in, I'm writing, and now I'm gonna put it out, and then if it clicks, it sticks. Yeah. And like haberdashery, I heard that on like a show called iCarly. I believe it's a hat shop. Like it sells men's things. But anyway, I like that word. It came up to me today.
Good words. It's funny. My son used to love that show, iCarly. So I watched many episodes when he was younger. Because you and my son are about the same age. So anyway, my dear, I got to wrap this up. But last question. And no disrespect in this, but if God does exist, and I only said if God because no one can prove anything until we all know, till we take our last breath, we'll know for sure. But if God does exist, when you approach the pearly gates, what would you want God to say to you?
You done? Like, me myself, I've been talking to God this whole time. So I know God exists. Every breath I take, every step I take, in the words of Nero, every word and every little suffering and every annoyance and irritation, I've been telling God. I'm like, now why the hell would you let them say that to me? So by the time I get to the pearly gates, I just pray that God. And again, before God, Ma'at, I hope that Ma'at is like, girl, your heart is lighter than the tiniest ounce of feather. You really let it all out there. You really spoke your mind. You didn't hold back not 1 ounce, not one bit. And when you did, that was good. But when you didn't, I love that about you. And then I hope that God is also like, I really loved your reincarnation, Trey John and Dries Dewberry. You ate that. Like, I hope God uses African American vernacular English to applaud me in my life. Hope they're like, you done. No more reincarnations for you. Ancestor, nice. Elevation. You did a great job this time. That's what I intend. I'm saying that's what I hope to hear. That's what I know I'm going to hear. And I'm very excited. I'm very tired of being on earth and being human because you have to pee, eat. I'm tired.
Oh, man. Like I said, I could talk to you forever. Ladies and gentlemen, we just experienced something that was beyond mindful, purposeful, divine, and just pure raw. I invite you, I keep inviting you every show. These poets get to know each other on a personal level, get to really understand who they are and what makes them tick. We don't have to agree, but we should be respectful with each other and embrace each other's experiences, how we learn. Right. So anyway, I just want to thank you for this. This was, like I said to you, when you had your computer issues, hey, Sunday was already cast. It's up to us now how we choose to embrace it. And I'm so glad we were able to embrace this time with you. Thank you so much, Love Infinite.
Me too. I was going to be so sorry if I didn't get to embrace it. God knew. I was like, listen, if I'm going to be so upset. So I think we all pulled it together. I was rushing this morning. I was like, I got to get multiple devices to make sure if one doesn't work out, something's going to work out. But also, I do want to speak to that one thing you said before I leave the stage of we don't have to agree. I love that because I always tell people I'm never going to agree to disagree with you. I am where I am. I'm standing 10 toes in disagreement, but I love that you have your being, your essence, your existence, and your presence is still teaching me so much about myself because, again, I do think that everybody is a reflection of me. So you're just some little made up person in my head that has their own thoughts and opinions in life and perspective and stories. And I love that for you. I love that for you, but it has nothing to do with me. But I love that for you.
Well, at the end of the day, all we're doing it, always showing each other is what we hold within and how we feel about ourselves within. No one hurts you or does anything to you. All they're doing is showing you where they are with themselves within. This is why when I talk about loving self, the greatest love is that of self. If you cannot, no one on this planet can ever love you the way you love you. End of story. Anyway, no more preaching because we got poets that want to come and show their support for you. Ladies and gentlemen, unmute yourselves, please, and give this young artist some amazing love. Thank you for such an inspiring set. And this interview, like I said, get to know her and get to know the little lion. So thank you so much, Love Infinite. It was a delight. It was a divine delight. So
thank you so much, Ron. I really thank you, Inspired Poetry Corner. Love y'all. I love y'all. Thank you so much.
Well done, well done. All right, I will take the spotlight out. Now you can sit back and take in the rest of the show. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your indulgence. We'll get into it. We do have quite a list of poets today, so I'm going to invite you to keep it as short as possible. I don't want to make you feel rushed, but we'll also just be respectful. I hope you enjoyed that because I truly enjoyed they performance, but also just talking. I love that part where I get to talk with you and get to know you, and I invite you to reach out to each other and have Zoom conferences or Zoom chats if you're living in different parts of the world, and let's get to know each other, because at the end of the day, I think we all want the same thing, and we want to have a more harmonious humanity. So anyway, let's continue on. As tradition, I will invite my friend Alexandra to kick us off in the Not Ready for Primetime Poets in support of Love Infinite.
So I just wanted to say to Love Infinite that that because she said, you know, tired of the earthly life, that maybe by still being in this earthly life, she can enter different dimensions, because there's no, you know, there's different dimensions here in our physical bodies. So maybe that way new horizons will open up and she won't feel so tied to the rigid restrictions of the third dimension, because there's no rush in leaving. I mean, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Alexandra. Sometimes I feel like I'm never going to leave, and that I might actually live those 6,000 years, and that might be the big joke of all, that I just need to get comfortable. But thank you.
Now we're all gonna like go up and down, but you know, like maybe you can sort of live through enter other dimensions while still on Earth, and then that will be less restricting for you. And yeah, that's how we all feel too. So Flying 16. Do they know the throbbing of my aura is shaped with storms and sunrises, raging Titan battles and cirrus waves, asking for exquisiteness? In this microcosm that offers visionless nights, deluding shadowed consciousness, in this macrocosm that offers shimmering oceans, rippling golden primary rays, raising physical generations filled with high-spirited panentheism, protecting Ye's expression of wedded earth and sky, each cycle directing us to higher spheres of transparent visibility, enduring olive trees blossoming out of granite, rebirths blossoming out of catastrophes. Do they know the pulsation of my well-being is shaped with suffering and prayers, cracked fates and miracles, asking for empowerment. In this microcosm that offers sacrifices steeped in bloodied laurels and stigmas. In this macrocosm that offers sanctified healing from etheric vitalizing current, forming astric generations inside the antecedent Olympian womb, woven by an ancient rotating cosmic nucleus, contracting and dilating, attracting and repulsing, desynthesizing and resynthesizing omnipotent force. Authentic cures awakening out of taxing disorders. Vigor awakening out of feebleness. Do they know the resonance of my hymns is shaped with chimeras and truth, remodeled longings and wind chimes, asking for harmonization. In this microcosm that offers nostalgic harps from lost treasures. In this macrocosm that offers 7 chord lyres tuned with Apollonian notes, reverberating noetic generations led by Orphic pioneers, by sacred sibyls, by Delphic ideals, in a perfect rhythm of dithyrambic solidarity, in a luminous maturation of our superior selves, supernal melodies spiraling out of clamorous dissension, eudaimonia spiraling out of melancholy. Do they know the euphoria of my triumphs is shaped with steel and devotion, Pyrrhic dances and ecstasies, asking for humanization? In this microcosm that offers unholy acts of hybris, in this macrocosm that offers honorable acts of praise, progressing numinous generations, sharing lightning sword intuition, bearers of prophecies with earthly duties, initiating merging poetry, science, philosophy, politics, into one indivisible prototype of unrivaled integrity. Aureate humans ascending out of rudimentary humans. Golden ages ascending out of barbarity. Do they know at all the pledge of our flights is shaped with chaoses and creations, perishable and imperishable psyche flares, asking for inextinguishable, omniscient eruptions? Thank you.
Got to unmute myself. That was delightful. Man, I keep saying it every time. I feel like I'm stepping into now philosophy and poetry and everything with your work. It's just evolving so well. And I know it's a repeat, but it's a worthwhile repeat, my friend. Thank you so much. And thank you for always your willingness to kick off this portion of the show. Like I said, it continues that kind of Sunday love, and it sets us in that kind of in the direction I think that makes this this show what it is. So thank you so much, Alexandra, for your continued support and your brilliance. You're just a brilliant artist as well. All right, from brilliance to brilliance. I had a little change in the schedule because friend Neil has to depart early. So I would like to invite Neil and Mona, who is going to dazzle us with another collaborative piece. So,
thanks, Raul, for setting the stage for that, and thanks, Love Infinite. Really loved your set today, especially the penultimate piece, which you wrote recently. I really connected with that one and everything else. So thank you for that. Without further ado, this, as you said, Raul, is our second video poetry collaboration. And the first one was Dream Space, which was Blue to Green. It was a call and response experiment, and we, along similar lines, but different, we bring you Red to Orange today. So I'm going to be red, and I'll read the first bit, and Mona will respond to that. Then we'll move on to the video, and we have a little bit of a twist to it. Maybe just in the introduction, I'll say one more thing. The significant difference this time around was we did it, we switched things completely. Last time it was ekphrastic and a response to Mona's fantastic video imagery, which a lot of you are familiar with. This time we wrote the poetry first, and Mona then produced, based on the poetry, all the video imagery. So that's just fantastic. I've never seen anyone do that before. So thank you, Mona, for giving me this opportunity to collaborate with you. So here goes. Red to orange. In the early alpha of alert, scarlet skies sail back to safety. 3 roosters scratch their way to daybreak. Renewals can be both pink and ruddy. Traces of iron and sulfur gather, the drumbeat of blood in the temple, fascinated by the flame, fearful of the fire. Crimson sacrifices soak into soil. Each separate day gets lettered now, bookended by the twilight twins. As angry armies march to Mars, claret and cayenne bleed into yellow. Resentments keep smoldering. The ochre of earth awaits. Red wine seas with their burgundy tides. Then, at the omega of oblivion, orange. Another response, yeah.
Orange. The fire of the engine burning bright, a life beginning to unfold, the rooted tendrils merging at the gates of dawn. The days are slowly turning now. The festival of lights is in full swing. The story of the universe is churning the molten rocks beneath our feet. Our earthly meeting place has shifted again in the chaotic magma build. The earth quakes, tremors heralding orange creation dreams. Volcanic passion moving mountains, an island rising in the raging sea of change, though battered fully by the worldly follies. In here, peace is not a game of chance. I want to say a few things about these poems as how we decided to combine them in this collaboration call and response. We and I'm going to show you actually, so I'm going to share my screen if that's all right. So the 2 poems, after we wrote them, we realized that the best way to combine them would be to put them side by side. And we realized that they read very well across. So we've got the twin cinema situation going. The 2, so left is red, orange is right, and then we can have 2 poems that read perfectly as on their own, but also one coherent poem read across. So having shown you this, I want to share that this is the twist that we bring in our video, right? We read the poem across. So I would like to share that now, the video. And please, if somehow the sound doesn't come through, well, let me know. I'm sharing with sound, so hopefully all good.
Red to orange. In the early alpha of alert,
The fire of the engine burning.
scarlet skies sail back to safety.
bright, a life beginning to unfold.
3 roosters scratch their way to daybreak.
The rooted tendrils merging.
Renewals can be both pink and ruddy.
At the gates of dawn.
Traces of iron and sulfur gather.
The days are slowly turning now.
The drumbeat of blood in the temple.
The festival of lights is in full swing.
Fascinated by the flame, fearful of the fire.
The story of the universe is churning.
Crimson sacrifices soak into soil.
The molten rocks beneath our feet.
Each separate day gets lettered now.
Our earthly meeting place has shifted.
Bookended by the twilight twins.
Again in the chaotic magma build.
As angry armies march to Mars.
The earth quakes, tremors heralding.
Claret and cayenne bleed into yellow.
Orange creation dreams.
Resentments keep smoldering.
Volcanic passion moving mountains.
The ochre of earth awaits.
An island in the raging sea of change.
Red wine seas with their burgundy tides.
Though battered fully by the worldly follies.
Then, at the omega of oblivion, orange.
In here, peace is not a game of chance. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Well, the last one was brilliant. I don't know what word I can describe this one, but like Alexandra just said, because when you first put it up, I took my glasses off and I was reading just even the first night. I go, wow, these read really well together. Then you said what you said. That was brilliant. The power of collaboration. I love the fact that the two of you gotta, well, you don't have to do anything I say. I invite you to keep churning them out. You're on to something here, the two of you. In regards
Thank you.
I wanted to say one more thing. The twin cinema idea came to us separately. Like we both thought of it in the same time. Like it's like we should do this. Oh yeah, we should do this. Like we both kind of like
you guys are
it.
definitely connected. You're vibing on a different plane right now because it's representative in your work. Like as the last piece last month was brilliant. This is just beyond. It blows my mind. That was so well done. The
Thank
writing
you.
is brilliant, and then the presentation, and then again that kind of meditative, monotone presentation of it. It just captivates you and drags you in. Well done. Well
you.
done.
Thanks, Rob.
Oh, you're most welcome. I'm glad. So that's why you got to trust, man, how the universe spirit works. Because Neil said, hey, is there any way to bump us up? Because, you know, he's got an early date tomorrow. I'm so glad we did that. I am so glad that we did that. And it followed right behind Alexandra. It was perfect. Anyway, thank you, brother. I know you have to, you go and have a good rest and have a fantastic day tomorrow and whatever you're doing. Mona, thank you so much. From brilliance with our feature to Alexandra brilliance to net brilliance. This is why I keep saying it, from brilliance to brilliance, because you guys are amazing. You're just amazing. All right, up next, an amazing poet I have not heard in a long time. He was a regular at my old show back in Western Canada where I live, called the Inspired Word Cafe. I'm so glad we kind of reconnected and good to see his face. See, Dash, we're getting a little gray and long in the tooth, but you're still looking good, brother. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dash, an old friend of mine and a brilliant poet. Dash, the floor is yours.
Wow. Well, what a pleasure to listen to those few artists before. Man, that's some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Cool stuff. I didn't talk to you about what our arrangement was in terms of time here. Should I just read one piece? Or what do you think?
You can do it. I usually give people up to 5 minutes. I mean, we have a longer line tonight, but you know, 2 pieces is good.
Okay. Well, I'm in the middle of writing quite a few unfinished pieces. My process is a little bit jumbled. I don't know, it's nuts, but I what should I say? I just wanted to give a little bit of an intro. Let me just have a look. Okay. Sorry, I had the poem on my screen and for whatever reason it disappeared. One moment, please.
Sometimes technology has a mind of its own.
Okay. So this poem is called Who Am I? Who am I? Am I this man with 2 eyes and a nose who thinks and wonders where time goes, who's always full of worry but thinks it doesn't show? Am I this man who keeps his eyes open when he dreams, who ponders too much on what life really means, who remembers every hardship but forgets to simply breathe? Am I this man who always wants to be heard, but shuts his ears to another man's word, who acts as though his wounds are greater than what others have endured? Who am I behind all of this? Am I that voice that I hear so quietly, it's almost drowned in mist? That heart that greets me despite my shortcomings with compassion and a kiss? That presence that visits me with blessings in this place here betwixt? Has your mind ever drifted off and become paralyzed by the enormity of something so too big to sense, too big to feel, too big to understand? You take your moment to close your eyes as your mind starts to dance around with its inner eye. Your mouth begins to run dry, while the back of your throat starts to open wide. When the jaw bridge connecting your heart and your mind suddenly collides, and a gust of air enters into your chest, and you wander off on your spiritual quest of how did I get here? I spent the majority of my life trying to forget things I wish I didn't remember, trying to forgive without apologies, trying to learn how to relax, trying to let things go, trying not to overcomplicate, trying to keep things as simple as my breath. Mm-hmm. I've been told I just need to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've been trying to hack my way through life using tools barely sharp enough to clear a field thick with thorns and broken branches. I've been trying to find my way back home, but I'm caught in a jungle made of truth and lies and a quest to find meaning in all the suffering. I've been trying to peel away the outer layers of my bark, shed the layers of my calloused skins, beneath all my defenses, my walls and armory, and the layers upon layers of history I am made of. Each ring a marker, a travel log, a milestone, a record of all those I've come to know, those who I've loved and those who have hurt me, concentric circles holding truth of how I came to be this. I try to remind myself to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sometimes I trace the dark circles of my rings with my fingertips as a reminder of all the seasons of tribulation I have weathered. I've always wondered why God would hide such a secret like this behind a veil of our frail perceptions. Because if we're able just to say yes and see these wounds as pockets for tiny seeds, we could hold inside ourselves the potential to become plants and trees with fruits made to yield and ripen. I try to remind myself to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I often wonder if God hears our sufferings as a maestro hears the tempo of rustling trees with its roots, limbs, and leaves growing mightier with each breath we breathe. I can't help but wonder what God might be thinking when he wanders through his gardens, watches his gardens grow and disappear from one season into the next. I wonder if he smiles knowing how surprised we'll be when we abandon our tattered clothes to join him to feast joyously with the delicious fruits of our tests and difficulties. Sorry, my mouth, I can't even, I have no saliva in my mouth. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all good. It's funny as you said that, because when I was interviewing Love Infinite, my mouth started to go dry, but I didn't want to stop to drink water. We should do that, actually. Stop and drink water and continue. So,
well, my piece was all about breathing, and I wasn't freaking breathing. So what the hell?
love that last piece. I forget how good a poet and a writer you are. It's so good to hear your voice again and to hear your words. I hope you will go down this rabbit hole of poetic Zen rooms and share your brilliance, because there's so many people that would welcome your talent and your wordsmith. So it's really good to hear you again, Dash. Really good to hear you again.
Well, you're beautiful dude and supportive, and thank you for helping bring us together, man.
You're welcome, brother. Good to see you again. We'll talk soon. All right, from brilliant to brilliance. This isn't a collaborative, but we've got two poets using the same phone. These are the young poets. Well, one of them was introduced to you last month. They're in a refugee camp in Malawi, I believe. I'm not sure if both are from the Congo originally, but Bienvenue, I'll let you guys do your thing. Whichever one of you wants to go first, and then the other one could follow. And then after the both of you, Michelle, you're on deck. So, all right, the mic is yours, gentlemen.
Good evening. My name is Saidi Lizi. I'm a poet in Malawi camp. I'm just a refugee. Yeah, I am a Congolese. That is my national. I come from DRC. I have two poems here that I want to introduce, that will introduce me as a poet. Yeah. My first poem is Freetown. A chief knows the meaning of pain. Omnivores, Omnivorous, I can think you are. God, you are so fine. Mommy, never. I can think you are. God, you are so fine. Tell me why. Freetown. Achiever knows the meaning of pain. Achiever knows the meaning of pain. I have stand in the way and narrative as a writer. I have remembered all bad good in my way and free as a stone. Freetown. Dream of my dream, cheer of my cheer, but enough pain in the way as a pregnant woman waiting for a time. But a dreamer man who travel from space and time, cause I am busy as a peer. I have prepared a new story, cause all a new mystery of being slavery have been gone away. Nothing come, nothing gone without a reason. Nothing began, nothing ends without a season. We have required a lesson during the partition of Africa. How mama were being killed, sisters were being raped, how brothers were taken like slaves. No one was looking for him or her. Value. Freetown. Freetown. Achiever knows the meaning of pain. Achiever knows the meaning of pain. Thanks. Second is Only is a Brave. That is a title on the Brave. On the brave. On the brave will understand this world. On the brave will act at this world. On the brave will be remembrance in history because of their wonderful world. As an acty, we acty to acty is a dark, and naughty is a lighty from night to black. Just so acty, art is a catty, which acty is acty, which has been eaten by an auntie. Cause the way is too long. It needy people and stress to be strong. To conquer as a wolf, the trophy song will make enemy with the tongue. I know things is not easy. Even my name Saidi Lizi. But to struggle for independence, never people are lazy. Just be crazy. As an ego, I need to struggle. If the jungle, there's a crumble, I'll just be humble. Because no one is capable. Just God is able. Only the brave. Thanks. I'm done.
Wow. This is why I trust Spirit. I have not heard this young man until this moment, and you were just magnificent. You are brilliant, friend. Brilliant. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you to Bienvenue for introducing us. I'm so glad that you were able to perform here today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I was not counted as an orphan. When I grow up, problem faces me. Evening to be born, a new following day, I lost my father. I lived some years, my mother disappeared. I feel the pile of tears. All words have ears. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bienvenue Ruhigita, and I'm a poet just here in the Lake refugee camp. I've got a poem entitled, I just aborted the love infinity. Today I brought for you a romantic poem, which is entitled Lost in Love. I love you, but you never care of me. When I look on your face, tears danced on my cheeks and take me back when you were crying on my shoulder, spending the whole day with me, teaching me about love. But now you have buried my love in the sky. Should I go to the court to report the case of breaking my heart, making my heart to be separated from this world? Indeed, love is a grave head of living. The dark moon shine in the sky, impregnate my eyes, and I was blind to you. The genesis of a love, it was in liquid days under the cassava tree where I was shivering and you were my paradise. My smile was calling an emergence to cheek. Your ears reflected to my eyes, but now I'm lost in love. I made you glad, my relatives sad. I have pens, you are enjoying the fruit of my pens. Uprooting kisses that planted in your lips, and now I'm a gravely man. I can't see the reason of loving again. I loved you, but it's a hand like a lost again. Please help me, I'm lost. And I'm not sure, but I feel that I'm lost. I did many good things to you, but my payment is tears which you never had. My heart has stayed as a fridge for fake love for a long time. I have nothing to tell you, but let me be around in the background of life. When I was on my bed yesterday, I heard a magic voice narrating the death of my love to you, saying that you're in a big hole full of dimpled faces, trickles of eyes lying to you, because you have no parents and you have no one to help you. I want you to keep my secret for people to not know my weakness. I was a shy boy who never kisses you before. Talking to you, it was just an hide exam. I want you to keep my secret for people to not know my weakness. Goodbye, my lover. We'll meet when time comes in heaven, because you didn't care of my feelings. But today, I'm lost in love. Thank you, guys.
At times, it doesn't matter what your life circumstances are. If you choose not to let your light be dimmed.
Yeah.
I have no understanding what it is you guys go through every day, but I just know since I met Charles and then Charles has introduced me to you guys have a light that is so powerful. You refuse to let your light be dimmed. Remember the advice I gave you, keep building yourself. You guys are brilliant. The way you present, how you articulate your words, and then your writing. Keep building yourself. I'll keep offering whatever advice I can whenever you reach out, but I'm so glad I got to meet you guys. Keep being a leader. Inspire the young ones that are there with you. Inspire them. Because you guys are doing brilliant, even though your circumstances, your environment may not be ideal. I love you guys. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you.
You're welcome here anytime. Anytime. All right. Brilliance to brilliance. Another amazing poet that I had the pleasure of listening to at Eureka a little while ago. Michelle, the mic is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here and listening to your amazing voices. And thank you, Love Infinite, for your brilliance and wisdom and grace. You see, I have your name in my name. So, okay, I'm going to read you 2 short prayers, also in honor of the inspiration of this Sunday Love Day. The first one is called Flames That Fuel My Flight. I choose this life to see beyond it, lift the layers, peer under the pages that spin tales of all the ways I got lost. I am here to see through a new lens that kaleidoscopes past the grays and more grays, to discover swirled glistens of golds and greens, geometrics made from dreams that really do come true. The dusty books titled What I'm Scared Of and How Much You Hurt Me, volumes of You're Not Good Enough, have come to me for healing. I rip them page by page to kindle my fire, transmuting the blues and blacks into hot orange passions, burning walls that I can walk through to baptize my own life. Generations of pain become the flames that fuel my flight so I can rise, and I rise above the embers, glide around the smoke screens so I can see clearly the life that is mine to make. The next one, thank you. The next one is for love, is for my heart and to your hearts. It's called Heart Home, a love poem by Michelle Lovett. Don't worry, my sweet, I'm here. It's my honor to honor you. Please hear my decree. I won't ever leave you broken. By now, I know many secrets of mending all shades from aches and breaks. During times when all of your work was unvalued, when your rhythms went unheard, I won't let that happen again. I'll always acknowledge you now that I truly know pumping day in and day out is just the start to all that you do. I won't forget you, take you for granted, never noting that without you, music does not flutter my insides, and eyes don't shine from the glory of sight when the sun to earth makes skies every shade of majestic magenta and gold like you. Without you, my breath wouldn't steady in my chest, then gasp in wonder, strings tugged at the sounds of angels singing choruses of hallelujah through the depths of my cells. With you constantly creating newness, waving ripples through my vessels while you go about your day's work, I get to feel new life, grow from fertile grounds within me. I get to shape words into prayers and do my best to say them just so the other hearts will hear my earnestness, maybe even join me as I go about. And as I go, I'll always go softly, dear heart, allowing rivers to flow as they will, never forcing any feeling, only tenderly tending to you like any good mother would her child when she gets scared in the night, or when she shivers from feeling too much for her tender years, shouldering the weight of worlds before knowing how to listen and to find her pace to regulate. Trust your heart, the kind mother whispers. I hear her, and I trust you to open only when you feel full. It's also okay to cuddle into the depths of body's warmth on the days you feel too tender to shine, too tired to give more than you can. It's even okay to ask for help without collapsing and before falling, for I won't go deaf to your cries when often all you really need is quiet or a bit of time to come into full rhythm with me and our world. Forevermore, I will not step my feet to earth any morning before holding my palms across this dip in my chest and closing my eyes to send back all the warmth you've given me through the years of always coming when I cry and drumming me back home. Thank you.
Stop. Jeez. Oh man, I feel like I just got a big, warm, loving hug from Mother Earth and my mom. Wow. See why I fell in love with you at New Weekend? You are brilliant. You are brilliant. You're brilliant. I'm so grateful that you showed up today. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, the honor is mine, my friend. The honor is mine. That was just a beautiful reading. Well done. And you're right. You got the same name as Love Infinite. Both of you are vibing in the love and brilliant writing and just the the craftspersonship in it. It's brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
Like I said, it's not just the 5 minutes for us waiting around to recite, because when you hear it, you feel it. Your hairs on your hand get and the back of your neck stands up. So anyway, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. From brilliance to brilliance, another brilliant poet. I haven't heard this man in a while. Jeff, my brother, welcome to the Inspired Poetry Corner. Thanks for being here. The mic is yours.
Thank you, Raul. I really appreciate you inviting me to come and Love Infinite's feature was amazing. I was so spiritually awakening, cleansing, and I had planned a few other poems, but now I think I'm gonna, after hearing Love Infinite's feature, now I kind of want to change up to something different that kind of, she was kind of speaking to the idea of like kind of things becoming other things, and what, how you kind of like how you see somebody or how you see something is totally different than how it sees itself, and how that person sees themselves. And so this kind of poem speaks to that, where the kind of characters, they're bricks, but they all also have their own lives. So I'm seeing a brick, but it also has its own life. So this poem is called "Struggling with Zeno's Paradox," and it's a longer poem, but so I'm just going to only do this one poem, even though it does have a second part, but maybe I can say that for another day. This is called "Struggling with Zeno's Paradox." The first brick felt like a toaster, only louder, more romantic about the way it leaves things. I could tell by the way the edges had worn, by the way the red was pink, that it had taken the wrong shape somehow, that this brick was meant to be a kitchen appliance. 2, 3, 4. The fifth brick was held together by mortar, slapped across the exposed wide side in a way I could tell the work had been done just after lunch. The sixth brick was so covered in smut, I could hardly tell it was there. A woman in a blue pantsuit was standing on the seventh. She had a fake tattoo of a cross across her left forearm. The top part of the yellow vertical line had flaked off in a way it looked like a capital T. I told her my last name was Taylor, but this puzzled her further. 8, 9, 10, and 11 is 2 ones put together, a couple of the loneliest numbers on a date. The rain yesterday crusted a worm to brick 12. I picked at it. The worm came off easily. When I tapped on the 13th, it sounded hollow, like maybe Whitey Bulger was hiding under there. Before I got to 14, a mosquito flew into my eye and was squished to death with a squint of my lash. I almost skipped ahead to the 15th while I was pulling pieces of broken toothpicks from under my skin. I dripped blood onto brick 16, pooled and crusted into my eye. The plasma proved to improve my vision. 50, 75, 100. Suffering from separation anxiety, 101 cracked a clean split when I rubbed it with my index finger. Romance means nothing to bricks. Heartless fucks, every one of them. 102 was painted blue. It reminded me of the rubber ducky from Bert and Ernie. YES was written on 103. Wiping the dried blood from my right eye with my left forearm, I scratched TERDAY into 104 with a piece of glass. 105 had on the suit Napoleon wore at Waterloo. I don't know how they got the blood out, but I've never been one to romanticize the truth. 106 housed a burnt-out roach. The 107th brick smelt like a chick, but never a second time. 150, 200, 300. Number 307 was once licked by Abigail Adams during a game of Truth or Dare. The 308th brick has a family history of being the 308th brick. Her father was the 308th brick in the 283rd Battalion during the Korean War. His grandfather was originally intended for the Berlin Wall, but was accidentally redirected to a blood bank in Detroit. 309 is wanted for murder. She switched places with 412, who had an alibi for the evening in question. 413 used to be an extra on the banana splits. 414 wets the bed. I know this kid who used to date this girl who saw brick number 415 passed out at 32 Flavors last night. It's really serious. 475, 485, 495. On the first Thursday of every month, 496 serves food to the homeless at the soup kitchen on Essex Street. Brick 497, not unlike my grandmother, hides bottles of apricot brandy all over the house. 498 walks like an Egyptian. Brick 499 has been the chief financial officer for 5 bankrupt.coms. 500 is the number of spree one person can eat before puking. 500 was Nelson Riley's SAT score. The summer of 500 was a great year to vacation in the Fertile Crescent. The woman in the blue pantsuit grabbed the 500th brick and swapped it with the 105th. But this is Boston Common, not Waterloo. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's not to trust anyone over the age of 12 with a fake tattoo. Thank you, everyone.
You have to promise to come back next month and do the other half of that.
I definitely will. I promise I will.
Wow. That was beyond ingenious, and that was just beyond creative. That was brilliant. Oh,
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, I really enjoyed that. The humor, the history,
I'm glad you did.
just everything in it. But yet it's serious and yet light. And it took us on a roller coaster ride. And it gave me anyway, some more insight into you and the area you live in. Like, so well done.
Thank you.
I'm putting your name down now for next month. You got to come and finish. If you want to hear the rest of it, you got to come back to next month's show. That's all I can tell you. That's
marketing, right? That's a marketing
right there. There you go. Next month on the Inspired Poetry Corner. Well done, brother. Well done. All right. Up next, the man with the brainiac hat, our good beloved friend Richard, who blends science and humor in such a intricate weave of words. Richard, mic is yours.
Thank you, brother. I'm going to ask you all, trigger warning, put your brain in high gear. I'm going to roll through some stuff. This is called rewriting history. Splendid. If they erase history, it is lost and it may reassign it and unindict it, and all with such a cost. The cheapened victory by canceling our debts. Oh, could it make it somehow easier to forget? The noble banking system must be met. On the Volga or the old Potomac, we still listen to Bobby Womack. Elvis still gyrates, and pilots still have fail-safe automated dates. The old vaudeville stars now in holograms are recreated. No longer content to simply set chimps on acid. Sadly, automated androids, just ask Elon, are dangerous now, no longer placid. Seems some humans are finding passion with their droids, something Cupid would historically urge us to avoid. Venus bats her eyes and looks askance when you take your android out to the dance. 1, 2, or 3 steps you might cram into his brain, leaving handsome Harry human outside in the rain. Can we be tedious, even at times unruly, though our given names be Chad or Julie? Are there aspects of our nature that require patience, our full forgiving stature, though our bumping in the night could displace the kitty and gives our dog a fright? So much cleaner, sleeker, our robot friend. Besides, when you're finished, their off button is your friend. No more tugging at the blanket after hours with that little switch off to peace and quiet flowers. No need to scratch their late night-ish. And when Android Alice or Robot Rick learns to turn around that trick and practicing on our frail humanity, the off button flick for their microchip sanity. Number 1. Number 2, there's been a mistake, and I ask you, please pay close attention. There's been a mistake, a lovely mistake, the kind of mistake that puts fish in your lake, the kind of mistake that makes a baker's dozen Look like your cousin counted. He should be so talented. There's been a mistake, the kind of mistake that presents an extra piece of cake on your plate, the kind of mistake that gives you rainbows at morning and then, without any warning, visit from friends where the fun never ends. They've delivered extra joy this year. I saw them load the bundles and the boxes. It was clear. See, last year there was a shortage. So tell them now it's come around. They're sprinkling extra joy in buckets, bags, and boxes, some stacked in cute little wagons pulled by foxes. Yes, that's it. Can you hear the sound? The music of children's laughter all around. Grab a ladle, spread it round. They've shipped extra joy this year, I found. Twice enough for everyone. Every girl and boy stuff with 10 times the extra fun. All you have to do is pick it up. They sent along giant cups to help. Don't be shy. Take one for yourself. It seems that all one has to do is pick it up. Don't wait, don't move, don't make a sound, don't explain or even floral rhymes expound. You can, as a useful grown-up near, point some out to the kids around here. And when you spot some of it, don't be lofty or even profound or leave it spoiling there on the grassy ground. The way you can help to spread it around when you see some kid who needs some extra joy, whether they be girl or whether boy. And then, last but not least, I ask you to join me in a small village where the band is doing their annual parade. So here we go, the Merry Marching Mariachi Band. The mad mariachi mambo line dancing through the village tillage, so pixelated, syncopated, keeping time. The claves and kalimba sounded loud and clear, stepping from time to time so the children could hear. The entire village joined in singing like a choir. The retired accordionist in the drugstore lamented he'd sold his squeeze box just last week when he learned he was fired in a late-night tweet. The marimba and the triangle player knew each other well. They were neighbors once and shared a backyard. They knew each other's secrets, and they would never tell. Timbales and bongos were first to pass, and it was remarked that with their fevered, fervent pounding, they would never last. Two upright basses followed at a little distance. They hated to follow anyone keeping time. They were always quite resistant. The percussionists were all independent souls. They kept triple tonguing 16 notes in 8/8 time, if that holds. The master conductor, initially quite enthusiastic, after 3 times round the village fountain, turned bitter and more than a shade sarcastic. The trombonists, who were in it from the very beginning, had marched off in their own direction. They were determined to be winning. The clarinetist and oboist couldn't come. They had no clue they were feeding peppercorns to polar bears in the Midtown Zoo at noon. 10 timpanists followed closely on a flatbed truck. If you expected them to march with kettle drums, you'd be out of luck. A coven of kazooists were enthusiastic, and the crowd at the bowling alley, all in unison, roared as they passed, and in one voice shouted, "You guys were pure Harry Potter-esque magic." And the town's steel drum band met them at the new skating park, where they often met to jam from pre-dawn to early dark.
No wonder you wear the big brain hats. I think if Washington knew you were the other side of the Potomac, ready to recite that poem, they would have crossed a lot sooner. You're brilliant, Richard. You know how I feel about you, my brother. You're brilliant. Keep healing.
An honor to be with you all.
Keep healing. We need your voice. We need your humor. We need how you bring a lighter side of life to serious topics. We need you. So do your treatments and stick around. You got work to do still. You got many voices and souls to inspire. Thank you, brother. All right. Excuse me. Up next, another rising star from brilliance to brilliance, Principe. The mic is yours, brother. There he is.
The first poem is called A Year Older. Amberfield Aquarius was born on January 24th, 1991 at 10:02 p.m. I've been on Earth for 33 years. I went through defining decades, building a diorama of words out of creativity, molding words and turning them into stories for the masses. The older I get, the more aware of myself I get. I wear my heritage every day. Haitian ancestors from decades ago, on my maternal side, burning me. My paternal grandparents were Honduran. Beautiful blood running its course, not like a Porsche. what the powerful force it is. A youthful face I have, elegant yet intimidating eyes I have. I can't help it. That's the way they are. I dream of being on the bestsellers list. Because of books, I got hooked to willing readers. No facetious footnote. You said facetious and famed writer one day, going higher and higher. And that's what it's called In the Afterlife. I want to be remembered in the afterlife. Be the sun at dawn, being able to spawn a magnum opus. Before I leave Gaia, see the sky of Uranus, rule like Zeus, provide society with fire like Prometheus. Remember me as the scribe. I arrive in the body, but relieve of the spirit. Spirit is immortal. First, I want to live lively in the hectic and erratic place called Earth. Magnetize mind to spark a craving, curiosity. All this coming from a born sinner who got it better than that in this cold world with no blanket. I'm a late bloomer to say the least. Never will chase fame and fortune, just success. I'd rather walk through the delicate doors of life. May I take the stock in love potency, pulling me closer to a goddess with a happy heart. Then I will no longer plead for the devil playground. My heart will yearn for sexual spirit. My heart will yearn for spiritual sexuality. My heart will be full of the boldest suit, and then I will be satisfied. That's the second one, and I'll read one more. God killed the ego before I was born. Like Legos, I built a wall around a torn soul made from broken pieces. I humbly proclaim to be humble. Some like muttered, so humble. My heart rumbled, teary eyes, being dyed by sadness. I remember the speech therapies when I was young. I'm not done with life. I stuttered, so I remain humble. Even I stumble at times. I was in special ed in school. Killed the ego. Arrogance is a disease that bleeds, not leads. All around, people focus on the wrong things. Like change, people sway from thing to thing. Some look down on others with no care in the world. Killed the ego. Poem.
In how many months now I've known you, and this by far your best recital. Best. You're just getting bigger and stronger and better. I mean, I love that the fact that you talked about that stumble and having a stutter. Keep rocking, brother. You're just I just see it, and I work with this young man, I mentor him. I don't know what you want to call it, but I see that confidence growing, and this is how part of confidence is the practice. And good. When you have good habits that you practice on a regular basis, it builds your confidence. Keep going. That was brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. All right. From brilliance to brilliance. Another poet that's feeling it these days. Susanne, you're up.
This has been the most amazing event. It's like, whoa, my body is just like reverberating. Okay, so let's see. This is called Death, Birth, Light. Mom died. The woman who gave us our names, who tried so earnestly to mother, to love, to guide, to give the two children what she knew, without doubt, was best for them. Excuse me. She didn't know that the holes in her being couldn't be filled with her children, couldn't be filled by her children. Her mother didn't know, or her mother. A tightly twisted knot in the bloodline. She didn't know we'd inherit her fear, be shredded by it. She didn't know that one of us, my brother, would take his own life die from unrelenting raw fear and a tormented mind. The other one, me, would spend years with her own gaping holes she tried to fill with shiny objects, shiny people, sex, alcohol, drugs, have an amphetamine psychotic break, be agoraphobic for 2 years, then in her late 20s, find light in a mysterious way that changed her life forever. She learned in recovery that higher power works in mysterious ways. Light found Mom before she died, gave her peace, goodness, freedom from fear. The holes from lifetimes were filled the only way they could be, by the divine. She knew wholeness for the first time. Gratitude sang and danced in my bones. And this next one is called Dark Odyssey. When I can't see stars, I dive headlong into the dark. The ancients who know what binds us and what will help welcome me. They hold me until I feel safe, and sobs cracked from lifetimes burst free. The ancestors whisper wisdom, reveal gifts of the sacred dark, deep mothering, deep feeling, compassion, vulnerability, humility, the ability to feel the sorrow and grief of others and the anguish of our Earth Mother, softening, opening, growing our hearts, guiding us to the cries for love from our world and from our own wounds in caves, still longing for our tender care. I remember the ways and treasures of the shadow. I also remember the light, always present, if not seen. I feel blessed into wholeness on this dark, sacred day. And then one little micro poem called The Wisdom of Silence. Silence is gentle and it is fierce. In the stillness, we know that all hearts are one and see where we have failed to love. Thank you.
Oh, my friend. May gratitude dance and sing in all our bones. I'm grateful for that. Writing is entering another stratosphere. At least it feels that way to me. Thank you so much, Susanne. I'm glad you're feeling well enough to be here today, because I know you were feeling a bit under the weather. So
thank you.
Gratitude dance and sang in my bones. I love that line. I love that line. I invite you all. I know this show is long, but to me that line just encapsulates this. In this age of technology and everything so instant, where we can come together and embrace this time in poetry and in artistry and in love. We're spirits, we're one. So that's a great line, just a great reminder. Thank you for that. All right, from brilliance to brilliance, brothers Zomkhonto, how will you dazzle us today?
Thank you so much. And so very grateful for Love Infinite. I feel that, the shamanic transcendence of the words and the many different planets and spaces in the universe that they made us enter into was worthy of a feature and a half. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for everybody who's come behind me. Sorry for those that I missed in the brief time that I was doing an interview elsewhere. My poem is out of the ordinary. I worked on this when I was feeling a bit down, but it's called Blind Leading the Blind. I knew a blind man who used to feel about the walls as if they were the breasts of his late mother. And religiously, he would kiss those walls as if he expected the braille upon them to transport her name and some kind of secret message like "Rest in peace, Mama." But the truth is, he loved that there was a wall between him and the underworld. So instead of a void that would have made him walk face first into the sea, he loved the fact that the walls blinded the mother from seeing him being baptized in his own miserable existence. I was also blind, but now I see. My world was a confusion of gigantic bifocals that choked my vision because I used to squint so hard to find out why were we born here? Do you know that the dust in the ghetto can blind you the moment you walk out of the door? The whole ghetto is like a Burning Man concert. Dust whose grains of sand are so evil that our morning porridge is like a desert where when we eat outside. And tell me, why would we be given eyes to see how fast our fathers' fists were after the beer had blinded their common sense, knowing that the overalls they wore to the factories came back choking in dust that would impale even an elephant? Because through dust storms, no one ever thought to use love as a walking stick, because there is so much evidence of pain that a walking stick gathers along the way, besides the dust that is always obsessed with mocking a blind man. I remember the time that I had to fake blindness to catch a free train ride to see my best friend breathe his last. You see, anything free I am bound to reach for, even if it means shutting my eyes momentarily for 2 hours and having some old lady lead me towards the bus, as if I didn't need to hold her hand at the traffic lights to begin with. But I had to go ghetto so I can get to hold my ride to die brother's hand and let him know my eyes were wide open enough, black man, enough to find out who had stabbed him in the back. The blind leading the blind. The armless leading the armless. I have seen with both eyes what Cyclops would hate seeing with just one. They say a blind man whose cane is made of poison ivy will have to see exactly where he is stepping in case he poisons his own foot. I was blind, but now I see. Now I wish I had never, ever seen it all. Zomkhonto.
Well, we definitely see you. Thank you for that piece. Thank you.
What? Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, well, not now. We've always seen you. Thank you so much for that brilliance. Thank you. All right. I gotta stop trying to not critique everything, but offer insight, because we still have 5 poets to go, and I want to wrap this up soon. But because I appreciate your time as much as I invite you to embrace it, I do appreciate and value your time. So, all right. Up next, we have Terri. Terri, the mic is yours.
Hello. Sorry I'm late. Just going to get into it.
No sorries. It's all good.
You tied your soul to my ankle before I knew what was happening. Big blue eyes slow blinking at me. You were a quiet genius, the kind that no one suspects of any wrongdoing. The jury is still out on this. Did you mean me harm? the well-worn charm of all being fair in the game of love. When you were born a liar and a rule breaker, you never confessed to this. You will be the first to go down the river without a paddle, not expecting to drown. Every day manifesting a new life-threatening dilemma just to give me something to do and expect me to rescue you. Will this ever be an unselfish act? I suspect that you must get sadistic pleasure out of watching me dying a slow, painful death, each offense worse than the last, caused by your selfish acts, and finally, you have the nerve to ask me to become dust with you, my murderer. And I have one more. I wanted to try Tina. My last spirit animal gave rise to transition from old to new. Behold the stallion still kicking up dust, stamping out shit with hooves to dust. Old traditions slow to die, allow better ones to rise. On this occasion we gallop for knowledge anew. We break free of bondage not new. Turn the minds of ignorance to dust. Give birth to enlightenment, freedom rise. Rise new, opened eyes to dust off lessons learned in banned books. Thank you.
You were right on time when you were supposed to be. And some traditions do need to die to let new ones live. Thank you, Terri, for that reminder. Loving the hair color too.
Thank you.
Loving it. Haven't seen you in a while, so. All right, all right. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Good to hear your words. All right. From brilliance to brilliance, man across the pond, Ian, the velvet voice, aka the professor. The mic's yours, my friend.
Here I am. But I don't have brains coming out of my head like Rick Spisak. Okay, I'm going to do one poem. It's an old one. I've only read it, I think, the once on another open mic. It's called Down and Out and Drunk in Cana, which is fictional accounts, obviously. It felt cold as the thin edge of dawn caught me in its bone-aching clasp, wandering through the dirt-kicked narrow streets, that time back in Cana, so far back now that it seems only a ragged, distant memory that fades in and out of focus as I sit staring vacantly at the leftover debris of my breakfast. I'm nursing yet another nerve-deadening hangover, the morning after the night before, that I can barely remember, except that one incident that stands out, somehow left imprinted on my blurred mind. It was in Galilee, as I recall, visiting friends and relatives, just one more wedding party, nothing out of the ordinary. If by ordinary you mean a typical family celebration, toasting the nuptials of a fresh young couple, with invitations to all and sundry, the only obligation to wish them well, and to feast on free food and more freely flowing wine, everybody getting soused, having a good time. But amidst all this merriment, in one corner there, a group of serious men were seated, rough-hewn as if they had done some heavy lifting. Fishermen, I later found, not the sort to brawl or pick a fight with. And stranger still, among them sat a singular-looking man, radiating an unfamiliar beatific air of calm. The way those cross-sawn logs of men seemed to hang on his soft-spoken words hinted at a being not of this world, a man of charismatic charm. Then, as the celebratory feast continued with freely flowing wine, the hairs on the back of my neck fair stood up on end, as for an instant those perturbing eyes looked right into mine, caught me in a moment transfixed, a tingling down my spine. but with a shrug I dismissed it, put it down to the drink, not giving it another thought. Then, distracted by a commotion about our hosts, realizing with the party in full swing that the free-flowing wine had run dry as a parched and drought-hit spring. Just then, that benign stranger stood with a kind but commanding smile, beckoned to the father of the bride, calmly instructing him to fill the pitchers, with water, if you please, while we looked on with bemusement, even amused, wondering what would happen next. Without further ado, the man told our generous host to stop faffing about, to serve up the drinks as if nothing were amiss. There were some murmurs, naturally, concerns over social etiquette, that kind of thing, the social niceties, if you like, of such formal occasions, but that didn't hinder or prevent us as we valiantly soldiered on with the party, keenly slaking our thirst. It was some time later when we staggered out onto the dust-strewn streets of Cana that night. The stranger with his burly crew had long departed. My memories are rather fuzzy at best these days, but there's one thing that sticks out still in my broken mind after all these years. As I recall that one time when I looked into some stranger's eyes and felt something move within me. Don't ask me how or why, but then the moment leaves me as the alcohol blurs my line of sight, and then I'm just another drunk down and out in Cana, living my life day to day, hand to mouth. I never saw the man again. It's as if he'd floated off somewhere, disappeared off the face of the earth, vanished into thin air. Just once I did catch hold of some vague rumor that he'd been strung up on a cross for some terrible crime. But for what? I could not fathom it, not even in my most lucid moments, as is such these days. What more can I say? We live in strange times. Thank you.
By far your most epic poem. What a great retell of an original story. You know, it's funny, Love Infinite mentioned in her interview feeling like Shakespeare and bringing new words into play. And I felt like just listening to you retell that story in a way that everyone can understand it, because I'm sure I can relate to it myself. I felt like I was listening to Shakespeare reading a poem for the first time. Oh my God.
I'm going to have to kind of go to bed and rest on that and think.
No, seriously, I got that exact same vibe, like literally in your voice. I have to attest to that.
That's why I said it was your most epic poem to date. Oh, brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant story.
It was great to be here. You inspire us all.
Yeah. Oh, I'll play Ian and not take any credit, because that was all you, my brother. Thank you. We're getting close to the end, but this is why I love doing this. From brilliance to brilliance. People like to say he's Zomkhonto's cousin, nephew, because he is, but this man stands on no one's shoulder. He's just a brilliant poet in his own right and a brilliant human being trying to do his best to inspire the ones in his environment and the young ones to do amazing things by example. He doesn't just talk it, he walks it. So Funko, the mic is yours, brother.
Gratitude. Thank you very much, Elder. Really appreciate that beautiful introduction, and thank you very much for gathering us here. Greetings, everyone. My name is Pongo. First, I would like to acknowledge the presence of my uncle, Zomkhonto, Bayete Mzilankata. Bayete Nyabonga Utando Longombonisa Lona Malume. Before I go any further, I just want to read this verse from the Bible. It says, "Everything exposed by the light becomes visible, and everything that is illuminated becomes light. I feel like this is what this Sunday is and will be forever. With that being said, Love Infinite. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to say. That was a beautiful set. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being the light. Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you. That was beautiful. Every second that I get to share experiences with you, I'm inspired. Keep on being you. Love you. Mona and Neil, I think it's Neil, Mona and Neil. That was a beautiful video. That was beautiful work. Like everything was so in sync. That was beautiful. I enjoyed experiencing that. And Alexandra, your work is always relevant all the time. Your voice is always beautiful. The imagery is always on point. Thank you very much. Like your set today was really insightful. But yeah, let me not waste too much of your time. I'm gonna do like a part of the set that I did with my uncle on the 7th of February. That's like 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna start it from here. Drunk people do drunk people things. Drunk text, drunk sex. Wake up with regrets, on to the next, do it again. Highs, Kilimanjaro, a grain of sand. Highs, head to Kilimanjaro, a grain of sand. Spin that bucket to remove that extra L, cause you know through practice you perceive perfection. On to the next, on to the new day, new beginnings. YOLO, 24 only, no spin breaks. Highs, chasing, jumping off the cliff, praying to, oh yes, so you don't miss the opening. End up on fields of shards, glasses, broken dreams, drowning in alcohol. Drunk people do drunk people things. Find a priest, get hitched to a life of regret. Cold hands that send shivers with each touch, wrapping around your body every night, twisting your insides like that wine you mixed with tequila, but tequila you mixed with wine. Yes. It was tequila mixed with wine. You did that for what? To affirm your love to the toilet seat? Hugging and kissing it all night? Drunk people's lives, drunk texts, drunk sex, vulnerable souls. Drunk people do drunk people things. And I get stuck trying to find words for you. It's like my ABCs run out of gas before I can explain why at your thoughts this gets hard. I love you. These are the only words that break out easily without rehearsal. See, it's natural. I came equipped with a heart that beats at the same rhythm as my favorite person. You. Their smile, a global monument, one that needs a lifetime to be celebrated for. It holds together the threads of existence. Maybe, just maybe, a century isn't enough for life to honor the sight of your perfect white teeth. So I'll give you my forever, my every breath to worship at your wake and rest every day. Grand Rising Queen, here is your day. It's filled with joy, wonder, and beauty. It's filled with pain, sorrow, and regret. It's dripping in money, gold, abundance of all. Take it. Do whatever you want with it. Kiss it, mwah. Love it. Tell it how its beauty inspires you to write a poem. Live in the moment. Be life in the moment. As for us, I love the hope. The promise of waking up to your infectious smile, the glow of your soft skin, and I love how the African sun is kissing my skin right now. The scent of sheer night owl, less for now. I love you. I won't deny it. I feel you in places I don't feel no human. I want to see you shine. I see you shine through this glowing screen. I want to learn how you do it, your lane. I want to know how you run it, be the pit stop crew, wipe off your sweat when you need it. I do slam my speech a lot, speak without intention, learn without retaining. I'm like a babe suckling, falling with each attempt to balance my two tiny feet on this earth. I'm a babe who lacks guidance. I walk with a firm vision, no drop of doubt in my blood. About the gold particle, the power that created this moment, though I use it without intention. Make jokes that carry no weight. I learned what matters is the intention. That's the power of creation. I'm learning, babe. If I can still call you that, my people skills, it's something I'm developing, working on daily. When I say I like it here, I don't mean I don't want to change. I mean, this moment brings me joy since it's all there is now. I don't want to lament, invite the chaos of stress as I worry about the moment that's next. I want to grow into it with this sense of appreciation. Yes, this ain't ideal, but it is what it is. It's real until we make it unreal. I want to make it unreal. I am making it unreal. The wheels of change are in motion. I tried to tell you the other day how I worked this contract I made, this little connection as head was severed the day we met. I guess I should have said before it's too late. Is it too late? Peace and power to you. Be love always. Thank you.
You are
Sitshela sabakwena wayethe mzilankatha mpangazitha.
Siyabonga.
You are beyond poetry. You are an experience. You are a frigging experience. That was epic.
Thank you, Raul.
Oh,
thank you.
And
Grateful.
the words, the meaning. Drunk Rawl used to do drunk Rawl things. Hiding from the light of divine. Wasn't the dark that I was afraid of, it was the light that I was afraid of. See what I mean? Your messaging, the way you interpret divine, and then you perform it. Jeez.
Gratitude.
Looking forward to featuring you later this year, dude. Oh, Lordy. You are an experience. You are an experience. Well done. Thank you.
And definitely, please tell them to come for that experience later this year because it's going to be celestial. It's going to be everything.
Definitely. Thank you so much for blessing us. And Zomkhonto, your nephew is... The apple didn't fall far from the tree. Well done.
He is his own version of glory. And his glory is now inspiring me also to take my art further because I'm learning more. I'm becoming a student of Sphongo each and every day. One love.
Well, that speaks about great leadership, because sometimes it's okay to follow as well. Good job. All right. From brilliance to brilliance, the man that we all pay homage to, that sits patiently and waits, Lantern Carrier. And by the way, he's been featured along with Laura Gravel, I believe, this Tuesday at Spoken World Online, David's show. So if you're around, drop in. But Lantern, the mic is yours, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. I took the bouquet of flowers from the florist, carefully tied with ribbons, and smiled endearingly. My heart blended into the cutest innocence, tenderness, and affection of my gorgeously charming daughter. She loves roses, and I, tulips, but her grateful gaze admired the lushness of the additional orchids, fuchsias, lavenders, and hyacinths, as well as foliage and branches. They expressed harmony, and I could feel their spirit, even as my princess's joy exceeded expectations, she, hugging me intensely, kissing my cheeks to display her soul's gratitude. Rainbows are like flowers too, for they speak of wonder, of oneness in diversity, of tranquility and spectacle, of light. Indigo kisses the vast blue heavens, even as crimson dances in sunsets, and all in unison merges with the crest of horizons. My daughter knew, as I did, as the flowers, of the rose's selfless sacrifice, even as lavenders held sweet-scented conversations with the purple hyacinths. They know that each one is unique, has its own story to tell, an exquisite symphony to the eternal orchestra of love. I recall my grandfather's garden of flowers, a tapestry of marigolds, perennials, and cherry blossoms, waltzing in the breath of breaths, or tap dancing on my soul like the strings of a violin, reaching out in concerto to my own inner sonata covered in supernal excellence. Today I'm with my daughter, it's her birthday, and we hug, our souls singing of the glory of life and the harmony of creation. Like delicate flowers in stately grace, like the rainbow, like my beautiful darling, love is not concerned with our darkness, but our light. Oh, sweet, sweetest, sweetest souls, don't rush. Grow at love's pace. Can you not see that the dark cocoon has now become a most beautiful butterfly? The tortoise never hurries, so she lives 100 years. Be proud of your vessel as she's proud of her shell. You're a mirror of love's light. Have something unique to offer to the world, like the strings of a violin, the opulence of a Taj Mahal. Never forget the ants, bees, and fireflies, for to the pollen the bee means life, even as to the child, fireflies are an enchanting wonder. You're more majestic than peacocks, in essence a pinnacle of natural beauty, your inner plumage more resplendent than 1,000 phoenixes. Look at the gracefulness and elegance of swans. See how they move with the spectacle of a ballerina's poise and deftness. Yet they too, like lilies, remains unworthy of the sanctity of your soul. I see no faults. I am filled with pride divine as I have a lot to offer to the universe. I am a most bewildering mystery, just temporarily lost in a slumber of illusions necessary for growth. Oh, love, do trigger my wakefulness. Take me to the timeless silence of my original home. London Carrier, thank you.
Love is not concerned with our darkness, but our light. Well, we were just blessed with a ray of light. And we just endured indigo kisses and rainbow hugs from the sage himself.
Thank you, my brother.
Oh, Lantern. Seriously. I wrote that down and then I heard the first line, but indigo kisses, that just caught my attention. And then you just give us these hugs of rainbow, these hugs of hope. Words are not just flowery, they're meaning. It's like, going back to what I said to a number of folks, it's like you pick each word purposefully for a reason. There is a reason behind every word. And there's a sentiment that you try to drive with every word that you pick. So we just endured indigo kisses and rainbow hugs from the sage himself. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Well, you're the one that always cuts out our pieces and puts him into things that says these are the things that grabbed your attention. I think it's about time we do it to you, because when you are returned to the dust, generations will talk about Lantern Carrier. They will talk about Lantern Carrier.
Very kind. So kind, my brother.
I don't say it just to say it. You know how I feel about you. So, all right. I wanted to bring one poet, but it's getting long. And like I said, we have to end somewhere. And what a fitting way to end with Lesley. Lesley Constable, you get to take us home tonight.
Okay. Well, I've got two to read. First one's called Keep Going, and it's new. And it's for my son, Piers. Some people decide not to, but only ever traveling where, when, the moments that the energy will condense, take shape, ready itself and aim at the moment of coupling of the two who will make you. We don't know any of this, us as us, through these thoughts as they form and unform, these moments that we are there in them, but not there at the same time, present, yes, as thought or idea, perhaps, but unaccounted for. Watching the seasons ebb and fall, the of life turning to not life in the soil, in the sea, and the air in our room, and us in all as it is. Do we get to take the human things with us? Exquisite, the painful reach, the beauty of the violin played well, music that strikes a chord in our raw and human hearts, the happy surprise of Rossini, the shock of the magpie's raw colors, or not, but just the black and white is enough, the wafts of the lilac or the rose to the nose, the feel of the raw ground on bare feet, the tart lemon on the tongue, the flamenco guitar that moves the soul, or non-corporeal, without body. We only travel through air, granules of energy wafting as clouds, vapors formed, reforming, not touching down, not knowing form and body. Life in the world, a cycle in us, we see, we pay attention, and deeply we know, feel these connections as life into not life to begin again and repeat. We know as we watch the wind push the clouds across and through our vision, the insides of it and the outside of it in us. We see, but we don't, only on the inside into the heavens, but we don't know the mystery of when, where, or how the sweetness, these seething swirls, these movements of forces unseen, at times seen, just outside the reach of perception, yet known to us on the interior, will unify, take on shape, and become material form as our existence. I will wait for the moment that I know, or no longer informed, not know, never know, or know only in formlessness. I will wait for the moment that I know. And then the second one is, it's called The Habit of Kindness. 1. The habit of kindness invites the snarling dog of doubt, who, poised in disbelief and ready to bite, will bite you. Doubt mistakes itself for glory, which is unattainable in its belief that it is kindness that needs to be bitten, kindness suspect in its intent, out of reach, too good to be true. Kindness, the doubt of it bleeds out and spreads, the ooze of red, insidious like a rumor believed to be true. Red, the substance of blood, the sustenance of our existence, spilled, uncontained, running freely through the streets that protest too much instead of join. Blood, the sustenance which circulates, contained in body, sealed and pumping with and through the heart which is meant to love only and to join us with our hearts. Through our hearts, yours and mine. The rumors believed, the blood spills and is gone into the drains, down into the dark sewers, and flows to where it goes, emptying with the filth into the seas to pollute our waters. The blood is the carry-through of kindness, kindness not to be flushed. 2. Their carry-through of kindness happens if you are kind. The carry-through means I am carrying you and you me. I, who smile and mean it, carry you. You, who smile and mean it, carry me. I am carrying you out of habit as you carry me, a habit only that smiles easily, readily, at ease in itself, at ease with itself, and says, yes. It is the yes of those who have, it is the yes of those who have it to burn the light bright enough to light their own way through the dark and light your way too, if you say yes. We carry each other out of habit, a habit that says yes, having our sight on the torch, the light of the smile bright enough to light the way through the darkened, the sometimes cloaked path, the hidden passageways, yet will scorch at moments, in those moments when it comes to us with all of it, too much brightness, the over brightness of false illumination, suspect not to be believed, penetrating the cloth, the closely woven, tightly formed cloth of forgiveness, that is of us, the doubt coupled with belief, the mud interlaced just as surely with the fine filigree, the chinks in us, the holes of us, the holes created by the continuation of patterns, the revered and age-old patterns of the what you are, if you know, only and simply, that life must be maintained at all costs. You balance the blood as it circulates, balance itself out, and we in the flow also. You cannot have the life that you can claim to be your own solely. You cannot have your life as your own without letting go also the life of us all. We're meant to hold together as the tight fabric. We're meant to be the weave, the warp and the weft of our human existence here on earth, together to hold us only in and with that. If you see the joyous smile on the face of another, you smile back in greeting, and thus connected, we hold to the pattern. This, the smile, holds to the pattern, our weave together, the cloth, this habit of kindness that keeps us all here together, held as one together on earth. That's all.
I am the light that you carry. You're the light that I carry. What a brilliant interpretation and infusion of the Ubuntu energies. I am because you are. And to wrap it with kindness and the reminder to be kind, not just to yourself, but to each other. Your writing is so exquisite. It just flows. It seems to just, you start and it just continues on, but it's not a run on sentences. It's just a run on of emotions, and it just builds and it builds and it builds and it builds. And that first piece, I had this image of you standing over your boy as he is a baby in his crib, and envisioning all these different experiences that you described in your poem.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're a brilliant writer, but I've told you that countless times.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't always like saying no, but I know I have to, because I have to end this show, because our friend Isaac in Israel wanted to share, but I have to cut it because we started at 10:15. It's over 3 hours now, so I got to say no. But Isaac, I do hope you understand and you come back and share your dream with us. The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. When we become indifferent to each other, it is easy to want to extinguish the light of someone else, because you're easily willing to extinguish your own light. It is our job to embrace all of the energies of this world. Doesn't mean we have to like it, because there's no way we can know light without dark. That doesn't mean we have to like the negative experiences. But if we choose to learn from it and learn that we are love, I come from love, I am love. And in this world where I get to physically manifest spirit, I choose not to be indifferent. I choose to embrace the love that I am. I think we got a great lesson and a reminder today from our feature, Love Infinite, from the love part of her name. Reminder to not be indifferent. A reminder to embrace your light, not to be afraid of your light. She's not conceited. She is just very strong in her love and how she understands divine love. and then has the courage to share it, whether it's in poetry, in music, in song, just in presence. We all have that in us. So when things seem really crazy, just remember, God is not trying to show you how powerful God is. God is trying to remind you, do you remember how powerful I made you? We are the light. We are the love. All of us. I thank you so much today for all the poets that came to share, to embrace this time. Like I said, we live in an age where we're always worried about time, and to be able to sit on a Sunday and spend time together and to share our brilliance, that's love. It's not just about the words that we share. It's the fact that we're willing to make a choice to share of ourselves and our time. Love Infinite, you are a brilliant child of this universe. You said thank you for this opportunity. I say, and I speak on behalf of the Inspired Poetry Corner, we thank you for the gift that you are. You're boastful, you're outspoken, you don't care, and I love it. Keep doing you. Don't let anyone tell you who you should be, period. Because you have a powerful message. We may not always agree on how we see the world, but you have a powerful message, and I embrace that in you, my sister. I embrace that because you're a powerful child of this universe. And I hope you stick around for a while. I hope you don't become dust for a while, because you have things to do. You have many to inspire with your love infinite that is never going to die. And that goes for all of you poets. Be who you're truly meant to be. Marianne Williamson said it in our deepest fears. It's not the light that, it's not the dark that we're afraid of. It's the light. We're afraid of our light. I invite you no longer to be afraid of your light, because the world needs the light today. We need to send light to our brother Isaac and all in that region. We need to send the light to the people of Yemen and Congo and Sudanese and in South America and all over the world where there's conflict. We need to send the light. We need to remind people that we are together. The mere fact that we breathe the same air means we are connected. It's time to get past, I can't remember who is it. You have to let, Terri said it, you have to let go of old traditions to embrace new traditions. It's time to let go of this notion that there are different races on this planet. There is but one race. Why? Because we breathe the same air. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful.
And as Genevieve said last Sunday, after the poetry, now your Sunday can begin.
Thank you,
Isaac,
everybody.
I have to catch you next month, brother. I have to end it. I'm sorry. Well, you want to say something real quick?
Small.
Yeah, yep.
Small.
Okay, go.
Small.
Because he had a dream last night, and I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Yes. As a Cohen. A message for the kidnapped. You are in a pit with no light. In your heart shines hope. I will bring you back from darkness and put you in the limelight of the throne. Thank you. The dream was I was in a place, and there was very dark, but I see suddenly the light, and I hope the kidnap will return to his family, and the break of fire came soon, and the peace will come soon, and I return to be the man of the world. Thank you.
Oh, it's funny because
Thank you, friend.
that
Yes.
little piece, Isaac, actually applies not just to the ones
Yes, yes.
in bondage right now. It applies to all of us because to some degree we put ourselves in bondage. Anyway,
Yes, thank you.
brother. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your bravery, and to all of you and all the people around the world that are going through whatever they're going through. Much as we try to separate ourselves, we're all in this together. I love you all. Be well. See you next time. Be gentle with yourself.
Bye.